It's the greatest argument in modern video game history.
Xbox One
versus PlayStation 4.
Let the flame war begin.
Today we're going to talk about the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. We're going to present you all the information about both consoles, hardware specs, and anything else that we can think of to unbiasedly talk about both consoles and let you decide which one's the best for you.
Yes, as Vandal said, we're going to keep this as unbiased as we can. Obviously, both of us here, me being favored on Xbox, him being favored on PlayStation. We have our own opinions, but those we'll get into later.
Right. And
for the record, this is not going to be serious hardcore specs. It's just going to be the specs that matter generically overall so that everybody's on the same playing field on the ones that matter.
Right. We're also not getting paid by anybody to endorse a specific product.
Nope.
And so we won't be endorsing a specific product. Like I said, we'll just be presenting you the facts and letting you decide.
Alright, as Vandal and I said, we're going to dive right into this and just take the ball running and just go from there. The Xbox One specs, here they are for you. First off, we're going to talk about the CPU. I mean, it's not the greatest thing in the world because it's CPU, but it does everything that you need the video games to do what they do best. Work. It's an 8-core AMD custom CPU. It's clocked at 1.75 gigahertz. There is also a GPU made by the same company, which is both by AMD and ATI respectively. It is a Radeon-based AMD GPU, and its clock speed is at 853 megahertz. And not many people will also know that it was originally clocked at 800 megahertz, but they found out they could get a little more out of it, so they bumped it up right when the launch date came out, and everybody got it. Finalize off the GPU specs, it has a speed of 1.31 teraflops, and if anybody doesn't know what the word teraflops means, it's actually broken into two simple words, tera and flops. Tera being the amount of speed, and flops is what we're really concerned about, is floating operations per second. Basically, how fast everything in the GPU can communicate together. The amount of shaders the GPU has is 768. It also has 8 gigabytes of GDDR3 RAM, 5 gigabytes of that is dedicated to the video card, and it is also shared cohesively between the CPU and the GPU respectively. It also has a 500 gigabyte hard drive, which we should note is not removable, and it also comes with a Blu-ray disc drive, which is quite common nowadays.
You should note that as I go through the specs of the PlayStation 4, you'll realize that a lot of the information and a lot of the hardware are exactly the same for the most part, and that's no surprise. For whatever reason, both companies decided to build consoles that are essentially budget PCs with custom firmware to make them specific to their respective brand.
And also probably easier to develop for the developer end of it too. So it's like, hey, here's what we're working with. It's not really going to change much.
Much like the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4 comes equipped with a custom 8-core x86 Jaguar APU. And for those who don't know, an APU is an accelerated processor unit, which is essentially a hybrid between a CPU and a GPU. There is no like dedicated graphics chip like the last generation consoles had. It is all combined into one. The CPU end of the APU is a 1.6 gigahertz processor, which falls a little slower than the Xbox One at 1.75. However, the chip in the PlayStation 4 is apparently able to be pushed to 2.75 gigahertz, although it hasn't happened yet. The GPU is also an AMD Graphics Core Next processor with a clock speed of 800 megahertz, again falling slightly behind the Xbox One. However, where the graphics processing power of the PS4 really shows its face is in its speed and how it processes images and how well it can process the images. It has a speed of 1.84 teraflops.
Ooh, that's a big difference.
Which is a huge difference from the Xbox's 1.31, and has 1,152 shader cores as opposed to Xbox's 768.
A little bit of a difference.
Little bit of a difference. There's also a difference in the system memory.
Oh.
Yeah. Unlike the Xbox One, which uses 8 gigabytes shared, like you said, between background processing and video game processing, the PlayStation 4 has two separate sources of RAM. One being a 256 megahertz DDR3, which is solely, I know it's kind of, it seems small, but it's dedicated solely to system processing.
Well, it probably won't need too much. I mean,
Right.
background stuff really doesn't. It's mostly internet based. It's not really like, oh my gosh, we gotta do all this stuff.
Right, and you know these firmwares aren't really too intensive. We're talking, they're not. It's not like they're running Windows.
Yeah,
or
it's
Windows
like,
is huge and very intensive, RAM intensive.
Yeah, very RAM intensive and very process intensive.
Right.
Overall, but yeah, it's like you said, 256 megahertz. Not
Should
a
get the
lot,
job done.
but most of it's based in the internet. So it's like downloading friends list or there's a background download. So it's not too much.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the difference is because the PlayStation 4 doesn't require so much system processing like the Xbox One, which has all the snap features. And
oh yeah, it's got the
all
snap
the
and it's
multimedia.
got television that you could broadcast with your cable box. There's
Right.
a lot of entertainment features.
Right.
So
the
that is
Xbox
kind of
One,
that is kind of where the gap
yeah,
changes.
it needs all that. It needs all that RAM for those system processes, where the PlayStation 4 doesn't. And so what it essentially allowed it to do was take also 8 gigabytes of video RAM.
Oh.
However, it is GDDR5, which is current generation computer video RAM.
On the video card end, not the RAM end. There is
on the video card end. Video cards, dedicated video cards have their own separate RAM built into the video card, and they are at GDDR5. That's what G stands for.
Yeah, just 5th gen, and it completely lightens the load on the RAM itself, so it can dedicate more to the central processing unit or the APU.
Or the
for
APU.
PlayStation's case.
For video game purposes only.
Yep.
Much like its competitor, it also comes with a 500 gigabyte internal hard drive. However, the difference is it can be removed, and the PlayStation 4 has the ability to use solid state drives.
Ooh, that's gonna be a big difference.
Right. So you can get a lot more speed if you want to dump a little bit of money into your PlayStation 4.
Yeah, especially if you want to acquire 500 gigs of solid state drive space. Ooh, that's a decent chunk of change right now.
That would be fun.
Yeah, night and day difference.
And of course, because it is a Sony unit, it has a Blu-ray drive.
From Sony.
From Sony. It has Sony's Blu-ray drive. Which puts it right at line with the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Alright, so it seems like there's a little bit of personal bias.
Slightly.
With us. And we kind of forewarned you guys.
There's a wall here.
There's a wall there. Now, mind you, we're both 360 owners, and neither one of us own a PlayStation 3. But as we look onto the future, I'm more of the PlayStation camp, and he is more of the Xbox camp. And as the specs and hardware show, neither one of us is really wrong.
There's
consoles have.
There's no win and there's no loss.
Yeah, they both have a lot to offer.
Yes, they do.
Really, just
for what they want, for what Microsoft wants, and right. They want to have a full entertainment system.
Right.
They want to replace that box that's inside your little TV stand or wherever your setup may be, and they want to full-fledged you to use that Xbox for almost everything. They even want you to plug your cable box in.
Right.
But the crazy thing too, and this is the brink of ingenious minds that have happened on it, is it's one unified kernel, which basically in layman's terms for everybody, it processes and sorts everything out. It says, hey, we need this, we need to share the memory over here, we need to put it over here, the CPU needs to scale up because the game's starting up. That's basically what a kernel does. They have one unified kernel, and they have two separate operating systems on it. They have the Microsoft version, which does all the snap effects for the television and Skype chat and anything else that you want to look at on the side. And then there's the gaming version of it, which is strictly gaming.
So it's two separate OSs.
Yep.
Working in conjunction to power the console.
Yep. Two separate operating systems using a unified kernel from what they learned from Microsoft for the Windows platform and from what they've learned on the gaming platform from the Xbox and the 360 up to the One. They've married the kernels together in one happy family, shall we say. And like I said, there's two separate operating systems on there, but they work.
That must be why the RAM is split in the way that it is.
Yeah, it was shared originally on the 360 as well. It was unifiedly shared between it all, and I understand it a little bit because it's like, hey, CPU's not really doing too well. We got to send some RAM this way, and there's a lot of background dedication as well too.
Yeah.
Because you have snap view. It's like, hey, you want to snap at any time, or even the best one is where you go. I believe it's this way or it's this way for the gesture. and then you're back at the home screen. Like that.
Right.
You're just right back at the home screen, no frills, no stops. It's there every single time.
See, for me, I don't need all those bells and whistles.
Yep.
And that's why I'm a big fan of the PlayStation 4. I think Microsoft's idea of having an entertainment powerhouse is nifty, and I dig it.
It is quite a space to take over, though, too.
I like the idea, but it's really at the detriment of the gamers. There have been several videos out there, and you guys can do the homework for it, that show how games look and perform on both consoles.
Split view versions.
Yeah.
Even PC versions, but that's a whole nother debate.
Right. Well, they usually use a PC comparable to the two consoles. And there aren't too many, if any, that I've ever seen, that's for sure, that put the Xbox at a better performing console when it comes to playing games.
Yeah. And
that's because it's not designed to be better at playing games. It's designed to be better overall as an entertainment console, a full-on entertainment console.
Yeah, it's designed to play games.
Right.
But
that it's not,
in the end, it's an entertainment console.
Right. It's not its primary focus, and that's what bothers me about it, and why I like the PlayStation 4 so much. It is more so than the Xbox One, built like a small PC. It's got dedicated RAM for its graphics. It's got a dedicated processor for its system processing. It's got the custom APU built the way that they wanted it for that console.
Yep.
And I like it a little better. And of course, it does have some entertainment things. It's got Twitch and Skype
streaming,
and a web browser, and it's got all these other entertainment-based things that don't have anything to do with video gaming, or slightly to do with video gaming, but the console itself is a juggernaut when it comes to playing games, because that's what it's designed to do. And if Sony wanted to release a entertainment system, that they could, and they kind of were going to with the PlayStation TV, and they do for other things, but again, you have the marketing ideas of two different companies at their core.
Yeah. And they have two separate goals.
Right. What Sony's essentially doing is creating, they've created a console that's just another piece to their puzzle.
Yep.
They want you to have a Sony TV. They want you to have a Sony Blu-ray player. Or if you don't want a Blu-ray player, you get your PlayStation 4, and you have a Blu-ray player, and you have a PlayStation. They want everything that you have to be Sony. Yep. In bits and pieces.
And they want it to all cohesively works as Sony.
Whereas Microsoft doesn't have the same agenda. There is no, Microsoft doesn't make televisions.
There's no Microsoft TV or Xbox-based TV.
So instead, they just cover all their bases with one console. Another big news in regards to both consoles, actually all four consoles, current gen as well. Bungie just closed up the Destiny beta about a week ago. From the time of you guys should be watching this video.
Yes.
It was a 10-day beta across all platforms.
Except for PC.
Except for PC. But it was across both Xbox consoles and both PlayStation consoles.
Yep.
And it really gave people a lot of in-depth, footage, I guess, or in-depth perspective to what the game is actually about. And we've both played it, and it is very exciting.
And they racked up the scores on everything, collected all the data they got. I mean, be it the multiplayer setup, the campaign setup. Massive. Shows Bungie's vision from what they learned from all the Halo series that they did as well. And the numbers don't lie on this at all. These are seriously massive numbers that were happening. And, I mean, we probably haven't seen anything since, say, the last Halo games, or when Call of Duty started getting big.
Right. Ooh, it's huge. I think a lot of people are really excited about this game, and the numbers really do show. We're just going to kick you a couple numbers here that you understand how massive this beta was.
Just a couple, not a lot.
Not a lot.
There's a graphic we'll put in the link below down there, and you can look at it and Google and go crazy all over the numbers.
All right. Over the course of the 10 days, there were 4,638,937 players, with 6.5 million Guardians created.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. And of the 4.6 million people, 966,000 of them had the companion app for their phones.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're talking almost...
You people spend a lot of time on your phones.
Yeah, well, yeah. Guilty.
Guilty. But I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, that's still a massive, massive, massive number when you think that almost 1/4 to pretty much 1 fifth of the entire population that was on Destiny.
Yeah.
They got the app and they used it in conjunction with the game.
Yeah, it shows how heavy mobile is, I should say, overall coming in the market and just devouring it as far as how much we're on our phones.
Right. And it's kind of nice to have something like that. I think we saw similar apps with Grand Theft Auto 5 and the iFruit app, and how it helped the user experience, how it enhanced the user experience.
And also Watch Dogs for one.
Watch Dogs.
I'm still on the companion app for that. I know that.
Right. Overall, from the 4.6 million players, 88 million games were played.
Oof.
With 20% of the time that people were playing the game, they were in the tower.
I was in the tower.
A lot.
I wasn't in the tower that much, though.
20% of the time, that's a lot, though.
Yeah, that is a lot. Out of 88 million games played, 20% of that chunk of time that was spent, however much it is, because we don't know.
Right.
They didn't say the grand total time that was used. You spent it in the tower. So a few more stats for everybody. Out of the 6 million people that played, the amount of kills that were done was, oh my goodness, I haven't seen this amount of kills in a long time. 3 billion, that's with a B, billion, not million. 3,704,508,840 kills.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How many deaths?
164 million.
Jeez.
Got my commas
I
on
was about to say, I'm like, man, nobody died. Like, 3 billion over 164,000? No.
It's like, man, that'd be a great ratio there. No, 164,413,177 deaths, which collectively brings a great kill-death ratio. What's the kill-death ratio, Dan?
I don't know. I'm not that good at math. I'm just making you guys think I am. I'm not that good at math. That's got to be a kill-to-death ratio of, like, 143?
No.
Not that good? Is it like 5?
No, it's higher than 5.
Okay.
22.53 kill-death ratio.
That's actually really good.
That's really good. Good job. Thumbs up to everybody.
I'm not good at math. Told you guys I'm not good at math.
He's not. That's okay, though. The percentage stats for the activities completed as far as regular activities and public activities, you guys were killing it. 97% of the activities were done throughout the campaign version, and then for public events completed was the exact same.
All right, look at that.
You almost beat the beta.
Yeah, almost.
Just that
the community
much.
Collectively almost beat the beta.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Probably because I didn't get much time to beat the beta, so I'm probably part of the lower percentage.
Yeah, I didn't.
Sorry.
I didn't download it. I played it on a friend's PS3, and which, by the way,
Still
I'm
looks good.
flying the blue flag here. It played really well on a PlayStation 3. I didn't have the chance to play it on any of the other consoles, but it played really well. And I think the moral of all this is, no matter which console you choose, honestly,
or how heavy you feel the graphics play into the game. I mean, there's some people that just want, hey, I want full 1080p, or I want 4K resolution all day.
60 frames. I want 100,000 frames a second. Like,
I wish we could have 100,000 frames.
I don't. You wouldn't be able to see it.
Exactly.
But the moral is, it's all about the games, and it's all about how much fun you have. We both played this wonderful beta on last gen's consoles,
and the experience, regardless,
was fantastic.
It was great.
It was fantastic. I mean, it could have looked better.
Sure, the shadows could have been better,
yeah.
and the detail in the background could have got better if you used the next gen, but
it didn't matter.
I was still having fun.
I was having a lot of fun. I haven't had that much fun, nor have I been this excited about the launch of a game for a very, very long time.
I just hope it comes to PC. I hope. They
haven't
said anything.
It would be a monster on PC.
They have not said anything officially, but we can only hope. And the reason why, again, is because, like I said previously, the consoles are built this way. Here's what you're working with. That's it. They only did it on PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. They didn't do a PC because of the variety of stuff that's there.
All right.
You have easily, just numbers' sake, you have easily over 10 to 15 plus graphics cards to deal with. You have multiple versions of CPUs to deal with, be it an Intel or AMD build.
Right.
You have NVIDIA and AMD graphics, which are drastically different in their own rights, especially with the new rendering engine that you've been researching on. The Mantle,
which we'll cover that if we haven't already. Did we already cover that?
No.
We'll be covering that here pretty soon.
DirectX 11 versus Mantle will be coming in due time.
And it could change everything with how the consoles operate, since both consoles have custom AMD chips, and this is a custom AMD API.
Yep.
So
we're not talking it now.
Be on the lookout for it. It's gonna be fun.
Maybe later this week. We'll see.
We'll see.
Yep. All right, everyone. That's the Wingman and Vandal show for this week. We might give you another video.
We don't know.
We might not.
Like to play it by ear.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Literally, it's all play by ear.
Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up and like this one. Hit the thumbs down if you don't like it. I don't care. Do something. No, don't give double thumbs down. No,
okay, just one.
Just one thumbs down. If you don't like it, that's cool. We appreciate it. But if you don't like it, leave a comment and tell us why you don't like it. And of course, if you like it, drop a comment. Tell us how much you love the show. And
or tell us even, what do you like as a console?
Yeah.
Do you like the Xbox One?
Or do you like the
PlayStation 4?
Let us know.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the debate's still going to go on for ages and ages and ages.
Until they come out with the Xbox
Until the
2?
next one.
Or
the 720?
The 720, which wasn't this supposed to be the 720?
It's probably a rumored code name internally, but
PlayStation 9. Remember those commercials? PlayStation 9 where you had the virtual reality? Not too far away. Hashtag Oculus.
Yes. Hashtag Oculus. Well, hashtag again Facebook because they bought it.
Right. Well, whatever. Speaking of Facebook, make sure you like us on Facebook and you follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
And all that other jazz.
Circle us on Google+.
All that stuff. And tell all your friends about the Wingman and Vandal show.
And subscribe.
It's
going to be on the right side. Your right, over here, our left.
The button. Click it.
It's down there.
Click the button. All right, everybody. We've been having fun talking tech with you.
Yes, we have. I'm Wingman.
And I'm Vandal.
Till next time. Peace.